Over the last few months, it's been almost impossible to ignore the size of the sports betting market, even for a casual sports fan like myself. Like many New Yorkers, in the lead up to online sports betting going live in January, my eyeballs have been inundated with ads on social media and TV, urging me to sign up for one of the several sports books now available in the state. As a business reporter, I was fascinated by the story. Even non-sports fans know that sports is a huge industry. Tens of millions of households watch the Super Bowl each year, and in the most recent Super Bowl, advertisers were willing to pay $6.5 million for a 30-second spot to get in front of that audience. But beyond football, sports touches so many other businesses. Just look at the lines outside of a Foot Locker or other retailer when a new sneaker drops, or how athletes are used to tout anything from apparel to watches to energy drinks. Not to mention the things most of us don't see, such as the billions of dollars networks and now streaming companies spend to have rights for certain games. Sports betting, which is now legal in 30 states, is just another example of the big money being thrown around this industry. Naturally, I had to try my hand to see what the buzz was about, so I opened a DraftKings account and placed a few bets. And here's what I learned. 1. There are parallels to be made with day trading. In a previous series, I delved into the world of meme trading, and I was surprised to see that my emotional swings were similar when trading and betting. When I was up, I felt like a genius, and when I was down, I did not, which strangely made me want to trade or bet more. I was also surprised to see that the complexity of sports betting with prop bets, spreads, and parlays rivaled the complexity of placing options trades. There was one key difference between betting and speculative trading. With betting, I knew where I stood at the end of the game, whereas with trading, I wasn't sure if I should cut my losses or hang on. 2. Online betting changes the way people view games. Viewership for some sports has been in decline over the last few years as people have more options for things to watch. Proponents of online betting see gambling as a way to slow or even reverse the decline. Most people are used to betting on the outcome of a game or tournament, but with the ease of online betting, people can bet on outcomes during the game based on scores at the end of periods to the performance of a single player. From the gambler's perspective, in-game betting can enhance or minimize losses, but for the leagues and media companies, it keeps eyeballs on the game. 3. Being popular doesn't mean making money. For all the talk about sports betting, there so far doesn't seem to be much money in it for the pure play online betting companies. Remember those ads I mentioned earlier? That's marketing dollars spent, not to mention the promos these companies pay to get people on the platform. And then there's other costs. The states that allow betting are doing it because they see a revenue opportunity. New York, for instance, has one of the highest tax rates for sports betting, 51% of gambling revenue. For platforms such as DraftKings, getting more users as states legalize gambling is great, but it can take up to 3 years before the platform realizes any profit from those states. Now let's see how I did with my bets. Okay, so after the last few weeks, you have seen me place several sports bets and even buy an NFT. So how did I do and how did it compare to when I was meme stock trading? Let's say I should not quit my day job of writing because in both cases, I have less money than when I started. Started this with $100. We'll take the NFT off. That was an $11 purchase. So, that gets me down to $89. For all the dozens of bets that I've made, I now have $71.93. So I definitely was not a big winner at all. Some things that I learned. Okay, my first bet that was a $20 bet on the Sixers completely did not go my way. I just straight up lost that. After that, I did some betting on March Madness. A lot of that actually went my way. My bracket held up pretty well, and I was also in favor of St. Peter's, which nobody was. So that was a pretty decent payout for me too. Now these bets, I was betting $1 for each game, and some I netted maybe just 1 cent. The highest payout on some of these games was, maybe about $2. So you put $1 back, you walk away with 2. Not super exciting stuff. So yeah, that was my March Madness experience. Basically what I'm learning is when I bet big, it does not go my way. So then March Madness ends. Time for Tiger Woods' triumphant return to golf. And I had one great bet on him, which was that he would make the cut to play on the weekend. That was probably one of my biggest bets in terms of percentages. Put down $5, walked away with 10.25. Did not do so well during the rest of the tournament. Just for fun, I even put like a 25-cent wager that he would like win the whole tournament, where that bet would have paid off in the thousands just off of 25 cents. It was not a great weekend for me. I'd say the bet that was most interesting and my biggest payout in terms of percentage was a 3-leg parlay bet that I did on the Mets Nationals game. I was able to walk away with $6.30. If maybe I had bet more, that would have been nicer. But if I had bet more, I probably would have lost everything because, again, we learned when I bet big, I don't win. So all this is to say, sports betting, definitely fun. I understand why this is a business. I understand why the teams are interested in having it. And I also understand why media companies are. Because casual sports fan that I am, I was watching more games while I had money on them. Definitely keeps eyeballs on the games. I can also understand why people just want to keep coming back to these platforms. When you're down a little bit, you're like, well, fine, I'll just put 25 cents on this bet. Maybe that will make it less of a loss for me. And you just get into that. So I understand the psychology of this, why people are doing it, why the teams want to do it. I can also understand why some of these platforms aren't making a ton of money because I was inundated with ads over the last few weeks with them saying, hey, you forgot to do this bet, or you could do this bet, or if you bet this much, we'll give you credits for that. That is all money. That's all affecting these platforms' bottom lines, which is why they're not really so profitable right now. I do think it's going to be a business for a while. I did see a lot of comparisons with some of the meme stock trading frenzy where it was this kind of urge to place these bets or trades and hope for a quick and fast reward. Saw a lot in common with it actually, especially with the meager dollar amounts that I was using too. But yeah, I've definitely just learned a lot about this industry over the last few weeks, and I think it's going to be one that we'll be talking about and learning about a lot more.